Broadcast partners with us, Jim Roop. Hi, Jim. How are you?
I'm very well. Good day to everyone. Good evening, whatever it may be, wherever you may be.
Jim, you started your career in Cincinnati radio. Wasn't that where you started the whole big career?
Yes, it was the whole big career.
No, it was. Yeah, wasn't it?
Yeah, it began at WKRC.
Which
WLW.
was like WKRP, the TV show, right? WKRC.
With a C instead.
Yeah.
And then WLW, and then out here.
And then your son is here. The genius Tyler Roop is with us. Tyler, welcome to and Tyler, you started your career at CRN today, as a matter of fact.
Exactly right.
Yes.
Long history.
That's good. See,
Long history.
Yeah. I like the fact that we start somebody's career somewhere. We got Tyler here, who is, among other things, a genius, but a true sports fanatic. You are going, to UCLA now,
yes.
Is that right? Yeah.
That's right.
UCLA, what are you majoring in?
Poli-sci.
Oh, excuse me.
No, you don't.
No wonder he's grunting and groaning when we're talking about my favorite, Donald J. Trump. Probably some courses that I wouldn't like to take at UCLA these days. But are the professors, are they playing this pretty much down the middle, or are they going up against Trump at UCLA?
No, they're very down the middle. Actually.
Are they?
Yeah, I think they're afraid of offending anybody. So
they have to now because, people have cameras and they can take
it's
pictures.
Not Berkeley, man.
Berkeley.
It's not Berkeley, man.
That's Cousin Wally's old school, Berkeley. Huh. You can't speak at Berkeley anymore. Now, Jim, we should mention, we'll get back into your guys' backgrounds and stuff, but you are now with Westwood One, a major news media service. You've been at CNN, now Westwood One. You've worked with ABC, but now you cover things. Did you cover that Berkeley thing? Where
Absolutely.
Free speech would
not... the first one with Milo Yiannopoulos, and then what was going to happen with Ann Coulter. The Milo Yiannopoulos thing turned out to be a riot, as you know.
Right.
And then they were afraid of that happening at when Ann Coulter was scheduled to speak there on the 27th of April. And so the university said, we're going to cancel that because we can't provide adequate security. It was the campus police who actually said that. And they were going to move it to May 2nd or May 4th or something. And she said, I'm coming the 27th anyway. She never did.
No.
Her sponsors pulled out.
Yeah, which is tough. That's what they do. They try to get through the sponsors. But you are a straight shooter news guy. You're not part of that whole fake news service that we see over there at CNN and CBS and all that. I understand Donald Trump has a new a promo out that says, the Make America, these are all the wonderful things we've done. And CBS has, and a few other networks have refused to air it. Basically, because they took pictures up of some of the news people there. They got Wolf Blitzer up there from CNN's faces up there, and it says fake news right across the front. So it's kind of insulting to them. And they got that guy that I thought, who does the evening news at CBS? What's his name? The kind of the father of our country's guy over there.
CBS Evening News?
Tyler will know that, I'm sure.
No, I don't.
Oh, it's a great guy, and I can't think of his name. Anyway, they got him up there, fake news. But so they're not airing this. By the way, if you'd like to air it here, please send us the cash. We'll air it. It's a paid commercial. We'd love to have that on the air here today. We really would. That'd be good stuff.
It is a crazy time in our country for sure.
It is. But you're a straight shooter news guy. I got to tell you that. So obviously, Westwood One, a good news organization.
We think so.
You go everywhere. I mean, you're kind of the disaster guy. You've been to the hurricanes.
Yeah, that's me.
In fact, I think there's a hurricane story we have to talk about when we continue straight ahead here. It is The Lounge, coming to you from CRN Digital Talk Radio. You can email us info@crntalk.com. That's info@crntalk.com. Settle back, relax. Our weekend edition continues.
Hey, remember a couple of years ago when we thought we'd save some money with do-it-yourself window coverings?
Unfortunately, yes. I measured.
I ordered.
We both installed. What a disaster.
All the way around. And we're pretty good at do-it-yourself. But obviously, window coverings really call for a pro.
A pro from Budget Blinds.
They're the do-it-for-me people. They bring the store to you, come in and measure, then install it all.
And that style and service for every budget thing they talk about? Turns out it's for real.
Right. Budget Blinds has no surprises pricing and a no questions asked warranty. The best in the business.
That's a no-brainer.
And this spring, you could get up to $500 off on Signature Series window coverings.
Save money and your dignity. Call 855-BUDGET-BLINDS.
Or go online to budgetblinds.com.
855-BUDGET-BLINDS or budgetblinds.com. Forget do-it-yourself.
Get an expert to do it for you at a price that fits your budget. Call 855-BUDGET-BLINDS now.
Offer good on selected products at participating independently owned and operated franchises only. Some restrictions may apply. Ask for details.
here to the lounge. Scott Pelling is the guy I'm thinking of with CBS Evening News. Thanks to one of our fine listeners for calling that in. Actually, I used my phone and I said CBS Evening News host, and then I shouted out at Tomas for $50, and it said CBS Evening News host for $50. No, I was like, I got to pay my phone $50. Welcome back here to the lounge. Jim Roop is here from Westwood One. Tyler Roop is here from UCLA, and also the sports brainiac here in the world of sports. So let's get a little background story. So, Jim, you covered at CNN and at Westwood One many things. Hurricane Katrina. I recall a story where you're from Cincinnati. In fact, both of you are fanatics for the Cincinnati Big Red Machine.
That's right.
Yeah. Turn their microphones down. And so you make sure you're on camera here. Oh, you still are. Okay, good. I noticed you're kind of moving to one side.
I'm sorry. I thought this was radio. I apologize.
Yeah, radio. But didn't you settle in for reports by tying yourself to a balcony or something? Tell us that story.
Yeah. And I lost my glasses.
I never heard that part of it.
Well, it was the same thing where it wasn't Hurricane Katrina. That's a whole other story. But it was Hurricane Francis. It was my very first hurricane, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
3 things happened to me. Number one, when the hurricane made landfall, and they normally do this, it seems anyway, overnight. They never come in between 9 and 5. They're going to come in at midnight, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's why I stay awake at those times to catch the hurricane
just
stories.
in case. So the hurricane was making landfall. Must have been midnight, 1 o'clock, something like that. My pager and my cell phone.
These were during the days of pagers.
Pagers, yeah, were losing battery. And my charger, there was no electricity, so I thought if I can make it to my car, I can charge it.
Good thought.
So CNN gave us all this rain gear, and it was real. I mean, it's rain. The rain's coming sideways, right? So I put the rain gear on. I thought I can make it to my car. I can plug in, and I can still do my reports from the car.
Yeah, good thinking.
So
that's a newsman.
So I put all this rain gear on, and I go outside and immediately get blown back inside.
It was that.
It was that bad. And then I realized I better find a sandbag to put on the door because I'm never going to get back in. I did. I made it to the car. It was only 20 feet away, but it took me like 15 minutes to get there.
Wow.
When I got in the car, there was so much water in every pocket because the rain gear. It reservoired the water in the cuffs and the hat and the everything. So on my way back to the room.
That was easy going back, wasn't it? Whoa!
I took the rain gear off and stripped down into my underwear to make it back into the hotel.
What are the other guests of the hotel?
There was nobody else there.
You were the
only place was evacuated.
Hotel.
Me and a couple of other reporters stayed there. You stay at your own risk, kind of thing.
So you reporters, when you're not having the rain gear, you radio guys wear underwear?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So you went back in under the – but now didn't you also have a portable Sirius XM radio?
Listening to the Reds game.
So you strapped yourself to the balcony and listened to the Reds game?
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. And I was surprised because I thought because of the hurricane that the satellite would go out or I wouldn't get a clear enough signal, but I picked up – it was the Houston – it was the when the Astros were still in the National League. I was listening to the Reds in the Astros play.
See, I would have been in the little boys' room hanging on to whatever I could grab onto and just waiting for
I was so impressed that it was working that and then I was strapped on, or actually I was wrapped around the banister of the balcony, and I turned.
Why didn't you stay in the room? Why did you have to be out on the banister?
Better reception.
Oh, my God.
This is your father.
And the cord wasn't that long.
Okay.
The antenna wasn't that long.
Okay.
And I turned my head, and my glasses flew right down the road, and there's no way I was going to get those glasses back. So I couldn't see anything else the rest of the trip.
Did they win?
Did they win? This is your kid.
I honestly don't remember.
Did they win?
I was so impressed that I was getting a signal that it was just that's all there was to it.
And Katrina, what happened to the Katrina story?
Well, went there with Katrina just to cover the hurricane, thinking you're in there for 3, 4, 5 days until they get the electricity back and everything's fine. The hurricane hit. I was in a Marriott hotel, as I remember, and we were hearing that the levees broke. The hurricane passed. It got through okay. And then all of a sudden, we're hearing the levees broke. And as we tried to go outside, the entire area was flooded and water was coming in to the lobby of the hotel.
Wow.
That's what did the damage, not the hurricane.
Was the breaking?
It was the breaking of the levee, and we wound up being stuck there. We made our way to the New Orleans airport because it was higher ground.
Right.
And that's kind of where we lived out of our cars for a good month until the waters, I think that's the 10.
What'd you eat? How'd you get food? What'd they do? They drop.
Well, we
packets
didn't, for a while we couldn't. I mean,
Yeah.
we just had what we had. And then once the waters receded, CNN sent, I was working for CNN at the time, they sent in a truck with provisions, including socks and underwear, because we were all out of that by then, and water, granola bars, whatever. And then we would hire these guys with boats
to go
and
get food. Huh?
We'd put stuff in our backpacks because people were still living on their roofs. So we would get in those boats, take some of that stuff that was sent to us, and we'd go out and we were throwing stuff up to people on the roofs. So it was
So it was kind of like a help out. It was a, you were.
Yeah, we did it. Yeah. I mean, you couldn't just ask them, how you feeling out here on the roof, and I'd give them something to eat.
And Tyler, you want to go into this business now? Is that Tyler Roop? You're a poli-sci major, but broadcasting kind of calls to you, doesn't it?
Well, anything to do with sports, I guess, but sports broadcasting, I definitely consider it. Yeah.
Well, here's the first thing you got to worry about with sports. First off, you got to root for a decent team like the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Who?
I can't do that.
Who?
See?
So you got, my favorite team is the Los Angeles Dodgers. My second favorite team, anybody playing the Reds.
Oh,
No, I changed that just for you.
Okay.
It's usually anybody playing the
Thank you.
Giants. That's my second favorite
Well,
team.
There it
the,
is.
the Reds were
There
playing
it
the
is.
Giants, actually.
I know,
so-
I love them. That's good. It's my second favorite
There
team.
you
I'm just
go,
telling
yeah.
you, it's good. Now,
yeah.
Cincinnati has had ups and downs, but, during the heyday, when I was in my much younger days, you had the big blue wrecking crew going up against the big red machine. There were some great baseball series. Sparky Anderson, one of my favorite managers,
Right.
who, of course, brought up in the Dodger organization.
Okay.
That's why he's such a great manager.
All right.
And you also had Dusty Baker, also a Dodger organization. But the Sparky, one of the greats. I love that guy.
Yeah.
And he would go up against Tommy Lasorda. Those were great matchups.
Yeah.
It was realignment that really messed that rivalry up.
Yeah, 'cause they were in the West, weren't they? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because Ohio was West back in those days.
How did they ever figure out that Ohio was West?
Because there were like 8 teams or something. It was, there were that many teams, and nobody. Well, there were a few teams out west,
They
and
put popsicle sticks or something.
yeah,
Pick division.
they flipped a coin.
Yeah.
Tyler? What do you think about this year's season? We're 30 some odd games into the season, or whatever. How's it looking
Right.
so far for you?
For the Reds?
For anybody, but for
Okay.
the Reds. Reds are in the Central Division of the
Yeah.
National League, and you got the Cubbies in there
Yeah.
with you, right?
Yeah, well, the Reds are kind of in a rebuilding stage right now. They have a lot of good young pitchers, though. So the future is bright. The present is dim. So
The future's bright, and the present is dim.
we'll see
But
what
they're not.
happens.
They were doing pretty well at the beginning of the season.
yeah, they started off 7-2, and
Yeah.
then they faced the Brewers, or they faced Eric Thames on the Brewers.
Yeah, and that's he's in their division, right? The
Yep.
Brewers, yeah.
Yep, and they got messed up a bit.
So they're playing 500 ball now. Or
Yeah,
what?
they're 14-14 right now. So
See, I didn't know that.
Exactly
yeah,
500
exactly
ball.
500
Very good.
ball. Good job. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so that's good. So how many games behind are they? Are the Cubs in first place?
Yeah, the
again now?
Cubs are in first. They're, I think, 1.5 games back. But it's not a contending year for the Reds.
Well, don't worry about the Cubs. They always blow it at the end.
They didn't last year.
I think they used to do that for 100 years. We'll be back here. The Lounge.
This report is brought to you by Amgen. At the age of 53, Anita Greenstein took a bone density test and was shocked to learn that she had postmenopausal osteoporosis. Osteoporosis is a condition that weakens bones over time, making them more likely to break or fracture. Anita was surprised when she was diagnosed in her early 50s, as she always thought postmenopausal osteoporosis was a disease in elderly women. Studies show that approximately 1 in 2 women over the age of 50 will break a bone due to osteoporosis. Osteoporosis is oftentimes asymptomatic, as it cannot be seen or may not be felt because the loss of bone occurs without any signs or symptoms. Oftentimes, people will not find out that they have osteoporosis until they suffer from a fracture. Osteoporosis can lead to many other potential complications, including affecting the vertebrae, loss of height, and pain. Osteoporosis may also limit mobility. Although there is no cure for osteoporosis, steps can be taken to prevent its progress. Through Anita's journey, in 2011, she was introduced to Prolia, denosumab, by her doctor. Prolia is a prescription medicine used to treat osteoporosis in women after menopause who are at high risk for fracture, meaning women who have had a fracture related to osteoporosis, or who have multiple risk factors for fracture, or who cannot use another osteoporosis medicine, or other osteoporosis medicines did not work well. Since taking Prolia, Anita's bone density has improved.
Although Prolia may not be for everyone, it is working for me to manage my postmenopausal osteoporosis. I want others out there who've been diagnosed or experienced a fracture to make sure they are talking to their doctor about risk factors for osteoporosis and know the treatment options are available.
Indication: Prolia is a prescription medicine used to treat osteoporosis in women after menopause who are at high risk for fracture, meaning women who have had a fracture related to osteoporosis, or who have multiple risk factors for fracture, or who cannot use another osteoporosis medicine or other osteoporosis medicines did not work well. Important safety information. Do not take Prolia if you have low blood calcium, are pregnant, are allergic to it, or take Xgeva. Serious allergic reactions like low blood pressure, trouble breathing, throat tightness, face, lip, or tongue swelling, rash, itching, or hives have happened. Tell your doctor about dental problems, as severe jawbone problems may happen, or new or unusual pain in your hip, groin, or thigh, as unusual thigh bone fractures have occurred. Speak to your doctor before stopping Prolia, as spine and other bone fractures have occurred. Prolia can cause serious side effects like low blood calcium, serious infections which could need hospitalization, skin problems, and severe bone, joint, or muscle pain. To learn more, ask your doctor about Prolia or visit www.prolia.com or call 1-877-4-PROLIA.
We're back in the lounge. CRN Digital Talk Radio. You can email us info@crntalk.com. I'm Michael Horn. Jim Roop is here with us from Westwood One Radio. He plays a mean bass guitar. Thank you, Jim.
Yeah.
Tyler Roop is here.
I don't play anything. I can't do anything.
You were looking at that guitar in my office. Come on, it's signed by I don't know who.
Yeah.
Famous. I don't know who. But anyway, welcome back here to the show. So, Tyler Roop, you're new in the radio broadcasting biz, but you are a sports expert. And so we're talking about the season as it gets going. So let's just go through. Let's look at the National League West. Who do you like? What do you think? What's happening there?
Well, the Giants are kind of blowing it early on, which I'm sure.
Why?
I don't know.
What do you mean, why? Aren't you happy at that?
Well, yeah, no. Well, I do like Bruce Bochy. I think he's a great manager, very good motivator, and they have a few good.
You know, you
players on
two look alike.
Really, with the
you
mustache?
got the mustache. You know, you got the whole Bochy thing going on. It's a very beautiful look for you.
You like to play Bochy ball. Some Italian game, I think it is.
There you go. There you are.
I think it's Bochy ball. I could be wrong.
All right, so the Giants.
So anyway, so go through them. Yeah.
Colorado looks really good, actually.
Yeah.
But I feel
well,
like
you're smiling when you say that.
Well,
like you can't believe
I was going
it.
to say they always look good, and then they play baseball. So
see, you're a natural. The kid's a natural. Colorado fans right now. I always call that kid up.
They always look good, but then they play baseball.
So we'll see. I don't know.
What happened to Arizona? They stunk last year, and what changed?
Yeah, they don't have pitching. I think they don't have depth in the bullpen. They have hitters. That's it. They always have hitters.
So we'll get back to the end of the analysis, but you're young. You've seen baseball the way it is. Back when the old man and I were watching games, I mean, I talked to a guy who was kind of an average Dodger pitcher, Joe Moeller, and he said he was at an autograph signing thing, and he said, we were embarrassed if we didn't pitch beyond 7 innings in a ball game, and it's true. What do you think about baseball now? To win, I think you got to have a bullpen. You got to have a 5th inning guy, a 6th inning guy, a 7th and 8th, and then a closer, right?
Yeah, I think so. My big issue with the bullpen these days is everyone throws. They always have a guy or two guys that throws 100, and I think they lost the ability to pitch location, and it's more about velocity these days.
It is about
and
velocity,
I think
right?
Because of that, that's why they need so many people in the bullpen, because they can only throw 1 inning, and so
they burn themselves out, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And don't you now, as a student of the game, love some guy like a Kershaw or whatever. They can position that ball and knows, like this great Sandy Koufax or Bob Gibson or who was on the Reds? Did they ever have a good pitcher?
Jim Maloney, man.
Jim
Did they
Maloney.
ever have-
Jim Maloney. Jimmy O'Toole.
Anybody
Jimmy
named
O'Toole,
Jim used to be on
yeah.
that team.
Oh, yeah. That was the law.
But it's Vernon Law. He was on the Pirates. Thank you. Okay, so the
Jude Law's an actor.
positioning is the key in it, right?
Yes.
If you can do that, you're a superstar pitcher.
I think so.
Well, those are your starters, aren't they?
Yeah, but the starters, I wouldn't call a guy that can go 5 innings a starter. He's a
He
5-inning
starts
pitcher.
the game. The guy who starts the game.
He's out there first.
He's out there first.
Yeah,
The
he's-
firster. He should be called the firster.
Yeah, I would be embarrassed if I was making as much money as these guys make and they can't pitch beyond 5 innings.
Okay, one of the greatest
Your
pitchers.
son just said, I agree. I like this kid.
Well, I always agree with you too until I leave.
Yeah.
One of the greatest pitchers, and I don't like the team, and I really like him, but I used to love Bob Gibson.
I did too.
And I
St.
remember,
Louis Cardinals.
I remember when
Why
Frank
don't you
Robinson.
like the Cardinals?
I hate the
You out of
Cardinals.
here, Molina.
I hate the Cardinals
hear
so
me.
And
much.
Central Division.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah, but I remember
I do
especially
too.
when
Okay,
Frank
good.
Robinson was digging in, and Gibson said, "Hey, ain't nobody digging into my plate." Threw right at him,
Don
knocked
Drysdale
him
would do
right
that,
down.
would knock him
yeah.
down.
Yeah, back when that there was a real, not just a cat and mouse game between a pitcher and hitter,
Yeah.
but there was a real battle between a pitcher and hitter, and the more you could crowd the plate and get away with it, or digging in, or the pitcher can throw in on your hands. And a lot of pitchers don't throw inside anymore. They don't throw with the hands anymore, which is
they've wussified the game now. It's like,
Well,
come
that's
on.
true. The rules
what
are
about
such.
an intentional walk where you just say take the base?
No.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You want him to throw the ball because I've seen a bunch of dippy pitchers throw it over the guy's head.
Exactly.
there was a stat just came out that Bronson Arroyo has thrown 40,000 pitches in his career, and that doesn't even count bullpen. That doesn't count warm-up pitches. That doesn't count any of that stuff. 40,000 pitches in a game only, and it's amazing that elbow of his still works.
Was that in the first inning?
First, it's like my golf
He's
game.
not that good of a pitcher. No, he's a great pitcher. It's like, but I mean, come on. They have and that's another thing we got to talk about, the pitch count. I can't stand the pitch count.
Yeah.
I mean, go out there and hey, can you get this guy out? Get the guy out, right?
Yeah. I agree.
Well, wait a minute. You're up to 53 pitches. We got to pull
I
you.
know. It's like I love Dave
Sparky
Roberts.
used to be called Captain Hook because of that.
Well, Dave Roberts, I love him. I think he's a great manager. He's perfect for the Dodgers. Now, my only
Rich Hill.
criticism is he pulls the guy out that has
Yeah,
a no-hitter.
Rich Hill had a perfect game, and
Pardon me, a perfect
I
game.
know it's in the eighth inning, and I think he had like a redness on his hand.
Yeah, you
and they
don't
pulled
do
him.
that.
No, you never
I
do
mean,
that.
come on. Sorry, Dave.
This is the Mungle on Movies. I'm Matt Mungle. How to Be a Latin Lover is the new PG-13 comedy that has loads of laughs and a lot of heart. Selma Hayek stars as Sarah and loves her character.
She is very much a family woman, and she doesn't give up on her brother either. So what I love about the character is that it's a strong woman, but she doesn't give up on life. She doesn't give up on herself.
How to Be a Latin Lover opens this week. And to hear my full interview with the star Eugenio Derbez, visit mungleshow.com or follow me on Twitter at @themungle.
Any Napa guy knows, and science proves, the best minivan is the one you've already got. Part kid transporter, part drywall mover. Who cares if the faux wood grain is a little faded? That was a platinum package option in 1987. With over 400,000 parts and a little Napa know-how, you can keep anything on the road. Because it's not old, it's vintage. That's Napa know-how.
From traditional Hawaiian weddings and vow renewals to your own unique ceremony, find out why Kaanapali Weddings is the perfect place to say, I do. Create the memory that will last a lifetime at the place you and your family know and love, Kaanapali Beach Hotel. Imagine yourself and your loved one just steps away from world-famous Kaanapali Beach in one of many wedding venues to choose from, including oceanside lawns, tropical gardens, or indoor banquet rooms. With your choice of catering, bar, floral, and musical options, you can make your special day customized just for you. Their wedding specialist will help you plan your dream wedding today. For more information, visit kaanapaliweddings.com or call 661-0011. Kaanapali Weddings, the perfect place to say, I do.
Kaanapali Beach Hotel, Maui's Hawaiian Hotel.
If you're eligible for Medicare, you need to know there is money available to you that can lower your Medicare prescription costs. How much can you save? Find out now by making a free call to Health Markets. They'll search from a variety of nationally recognized plans to find you the right coverage at a price that fits your budget. And they'll do all this valuable research for you at no charge to you. And remember, you may be able to save money on your prescriptions. We'll tell you if you qualify. Why pay a penny more than you have to for an insurance policy? Let us find you the right plan at the right price and see if you qualify to lower your prescription costs. Put our free service to work for you at no charge. Call Health Markets right now.
800-990-0351. 800-990-0351. 800-990-0351. That's 800-990-0351.
Health Markets Insurance Agency is the DBA of InSphere Insurance Solutions, Inc., licensed in all 50 states and DC. Service and product availability varies by state. Agents may be compensated based on your enrollment.
You order a glass of your favorite Cabernet, fresh asparagus, hollandaise on the side, a filet, medium rare. You unfurl your napkin with a flair, close your eyes, and prepare to listen. Ah, there it is. The sweet music you long to hear. The sizzle. The sizzle of a Ruth's Chris steak.
The most magnificent corn-fed prime beef, broiled to perfection at 1,800 degrees. Some call it a sizzle. We call it an anthem.
As the waiter approaches, you think, is this one mine or that one?
Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Like Ruth always said, life's too short to eat anywhere else.
Make a reservation online at ruthschris.com or by calling 800-544-0808.
We're back in the lounge. I'm Michael Horn. Along with our in-studio lounge guest today, we have Jim Roop, former CRN operations VP of operations. We have he's now with been demoted to Westwood One News. No, he's
not in charge of anything.
West Coast
I have
correspondent.
no responsibility here
for
whatsoever.
Westwood One News, and Tyler Roop is here, going to UCLA political science major, but a sports genius, watches a lot of games over there. So just before the break, Tyler, we were talking about the pitch count. One of the things I hate in baseball is the pitch count. If the guy's got it, let him play the game, right?
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
It's we were talking about Rich Hill a little
Yes.
bit. I think that was one of the most disappointing decisions I've ever seen a manager make, because I guess his thought process was doesn't want him to be injured for his next start.
Right.
But I at the time of the season, it didn't matter, and it didn't go anywhere. They didn't win a
It was last year.
Yeah.
But here's the thing with in Dave Roberts, whom I love, in his defense, the Dodger management, they got those guys that were from Tampa Bay, I think, or something, and I was not a big fan of them last year. Now I've kind of seen their way, because they understand baseball the way it's played now, and so Dave Roberts, getting the manager, knows that these guys are going to be counting pitches, and so he's got to kind of play that game, and so he decided, I got to pull him out. It was early in the season, but you just don't do that if a guy's got a no-hitter. Wait till somebody gets a hit off him.
Yeah.
Would you pull him out, Jim Roop?
No, we were talking about that too. We were saying unless he walks a guy or somebody gets a hit, you leave him in there. You absolutely leave him in there. And I don't even think it was bothering him, was it? Hill wasn't complaining about it or
But
anything.
since that time, he's had blisters all the time on his hand. I think he's out on the disabled list now with a blister. So I don't know what we're talking about, Tyler, but nothing to it.
Lord
Just
have
happened a
mercy.
year later when he's back from the DL. They had to surgically remove some of his nail. I don't know.
But there are a lot of things about the game that has changed over the years. The whole. I go back to this: the Pete Rose Ray Fosse collision during the All-Star game.
Huge at home plate, right?
Yeah.
Now wait, let's back up a second, because Pete Rose and the players at that era played to win the All-Star game just for the pride of saying they won.
Yep.
Right.
Am I right, Tyler?
Yeah.
It wasn't a show. It was a battle.
Yes.
It was American League versus National League. It wasn't about the
Who was
home
the
run
best?
derby.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
So
and
anyway,
the only time
yeah.
that Joe Morgan could wear his white shoes because the Reds had a strict rule that everybody wore the same shoes back in the 70s.
Oh, really?
So he was able to wear his white shoes when he played in the
Joe
All-Star
Morgan.
game.
He
Yeah.
hates the Dodgers. I don't like him as an announcer because he used to
One of
say,
the greatest second basemen
I
in
can't
the
stand
history
guy
of baseball.
as an announcer. He was a great second baseman. But getting back to that, he always wanted to wear white shoes, but they had dress codes.
They had, no facial hair. Everybody wore the uniform exactly the same way. The exact same shoe. They had a shoe guy, But every team has a shoe guy. But you can whatever your endorsement is what you wear these days. But it has changed a lot. You can even guys who wear some of the team wears the short pants. Some guys wear the long pants.
Right.
If I was a manager, I'd say everybody goes out there. We all look the same, And I would still take the names off the back of the jerseys. I would do that.
No.
I would do
That's
that.
something you got to do for a feeble mind like myself so you know who you're looking at. They change teams so much. Come on. I can remember numbers, but they're from years ago.
Well, then you look in your program.
Well, it means you got to buy a program.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so you were saying Ray Fosse and Pete Rose.
Yeah, just the sheer, the Ty Cobb type way to play the game. Aggressive.
Yes.
Not necessarily dirty, although Ty Cobb was a dirty player. But that collision between Rose and Fosse wasn't a dirty play. In fact, Pete Rose, while he was being congratulated by his teammates, his first concern was Ray Fosse. He went over to he was pushing everybody away to get to Ray Fosse to see if he was
career was
okay.
pretty much over.
It was over at that point. Yeah, you can't unring that bell, man.
So Tyler, let's talk about this. Now they've wussified baseball.
Yes.
You can't slide into home plate.
Right.
Yet just a few weeks ago, you see that guy, I think it was Baltimore or something, diving over. It
was Molina.
Molina from your favorite team, the Cardinals, diving over him to hit home plate. The guy could have broken his neck doing that. They should just be able to slide in there and knock the guy
Looked
out.
like Willie Mays Hayes
from Major League.
Major
it
League.
was like that. I think it was Toronto. It's cool to see that because he could have just walked and then got out, but he jumped over him. So the intensity is there.
Yeah.
And a lot of other players would have just, he airs in front of the plate. I can't run into him. Might as well get out.
So instead, because you can't slide,
He jumped over.
you take the risk of
Diving over the guy.
diving over in a neck
It's still
injury
gonna be
or
an injury,
or
yes.
a Christopher Reeve type situation.
What about is there still the neighborhood double play? I hate
No,
that.
no, they don't allow that anymore either.
There's it seems like they always go back and forth with that.
You got to touch the bag. There's no neighborhood. If you don't touch the bag, you're not out. You got to touch the bag with the ball or the runner.
That's the way it was when we played.
Yes, and that's the way you can't wussify baseball. I mean, we're going rule after rule. And let's get if this guy's sliding into second base to break up the double play, that should be allowed.
It should be. Yeah,
that happened with Manny Machado the other day, I think. So and that had a huge backlash. The whole series was a disaster.
Yes.
So I mean, you can see it in the game today. The intensity is diminishing every day.
Chase Utley, I never cared that much for when he's in the Phillies. He's on the Dodgers. I see what kind of intense he's got. That Pete Rose kind of intensity where he's going to get his uniform dirty, and he goes in and tries to break up a double play, and then he's like a bad guy, like he was trying to kill the guy.
Yeah.
Maybe they should just allow firearms since it's a second. And probably just blow the guy out. Take him out. Okay, so now let's get into the other finer parts. You mentioned about Jim Roop. You mentioned about Joe Morgan able to wear white shoes. Tyler, what has happened here, Tyler Roop, with dress codes on baseball teams? It's out of control.
You can wear anything you want, it feels like. As long as the name's on your shirt, you got it.
Now, here's a team I never liked, but it could be it's in my top 5 teams. The New York Yankees have a dress code.
Yeah, are they one of the few teams that still have one?
I think the only team.
The only team, maybe? That is pretty cool, I think. I really do.
Well, what's the dress code?
No facial
Yeah, no
hair.
facial
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, if you want to be real retro about it, they still don't have their names
Names
on the
on
back
the
of the
uniform.
uniforms.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's your thing, huh?
I like
Chip?
that. I like that because it's about the name on the front, not the name on the back. But too many players today, it's about them. And that's another thing I think is ruining the
That's
game.
what you
It's
see
the
in the
greed
NBA.
and the selfishness of the high-end players.
You think that's true?
I think it's true in a lot of sports, yeah. Especially, I think it's true in the NBA a lot, too.
Oh, yeah. And
well,
football.
yeah, but in baseball is not as much, don't you think? It's like they got to play as a team.
I would like to think so.
Unless Puig's on the squad.
Right.
Well, then why can't guys bunt then? Because they don't want to do that.
Well, let's talk about that straight ahead when we come back, because your old buddy Sparky Anderson had a thought about that a few years ago when he was still alive.
Oh, jeez.
You're listening to Love Advice with Leanne. Caller, you're on the air.
Hi, Leanne. Longtime listener, first-time caller. Why, in your professional opinion, do you never take my calls off the air?
Is this Carl?
Yep, it's Carl. I mean, we had a few dates. Everything was great. I thought,
Well, when you switch to Geico, you could save a lot of money on car insurance.
Okay, awesome.
You should call them.
I will.
Geico, because saving 15% or more on car insurance is always a great answer.
This is Bill's yard, and Bill's a grill master, not a grass expert. Still, he won't let weeds invade his backyard barbecue kingdom. And with Scott's Turf Builder Weed and Feed, Bill's greasy thumb is just as good as a green thumb. Because Scott's Weed Grip formula is twice as effective on dandelions as it used to be. So Bill can clear out weeds, green up his lawn, and hold his spatula high. This is a Scott's Yard. Pick up Scott's Weed and Feed today.
Listen, this whole do-it-yourself thing is fine for some projects, but when it comes to window coverings, not so much.
Tell me about it. I did some do-it-yourself shades that are best described as uneven and twisted.
Yeah, I've seen them. That's why I'm going with budget blinds.
That's a style and service for every budget people, right?
Yeah, and that is for real. Budget Blinds has no surprises pricing and a no questions asked warranty. The best in the business.
No surprises pricing and a no questions asked warranty.
No brainer, right?
So Budget Blinds comes in, measures everything, orders for you, then they install it all?
It's a beautiful thing. And now you can get up to $500 off on Signature Series window coverings.
Another no-brainer. Number, please.
855-BUDGET-BLINDS. Or go online to budgetblinds.com.
Call 855-BUDGET-BLINDS and get the experts to do it for you at a price that fits your budget.
Call 855-BUDGET-BLINDS now.
Offer good on selected products at participating independently owned and operated franchises only. Some restrictions may apply. Ask for details.
Welcome back here to the lounge. I'm Michael Horn, along with our buddies Jim Roop, former CRN operations VP and a radio host for many years. You and I used to do a morning show together live here on this network.
Yeah, we had a big staff too back then.
We did. We had Johnny Cash was alive during that time, wasn't he?
Yes, he just
was on our staff.
Yeah,
Marvelous Marvin Hagler.
Yeah,
I love him. He was there, baddest man in the world, right?
Yeah, baddest man in the world.
And Marvin, you had like one little hair, didn't you?
Yeah, I used to roll it up. Let it grow real long and roll it up. And then I would shave it at Easter time. And I wrap my head in aluminum foil, go to the parties as a chocolate football.
Probably politically incorrect.
Yeah. But I'm the baddest man in the world.
You were the baddest man in the world.
Baddest man in the world.
And then we had Vito from the Chevron station.
Oh, yeah, I still got the Chevron station. Still got that station over there.
Yeah.
You want gas?
You were big in the Chamber of Commerce, I believe.
Big. Well, I slimmed down.
Oh, my God.
You used to know the background. People would go, you would tell them where all the bodies
I know all the dirty secrets.
The bodies are
That's how I stay on the council.
That's good.
That's absolutely.
So Jim is here with us, and I hope none of your affiliates are listening. So it's Westland One, you could be in trouble. And Tyler Roop is here, and we're talking a little sports and baseball. So Chase Utley, he goes into second base. They kind of get mad at him going in there. We're talking about dress code, changing things around. And so here's the deal. You brought up before the break, Jim, I think, said about bunting. I did a broadcast one year at Caltech, and they had Rod Dato was there and Sparky Anderson. They were honoring Tommy Lasorda, and I think Campanis was out there. I was like a kid in a candy store, and I got to do this broadcast when it was called the PM show, and Sparky just laid it out. He said the trouble with baseball at that time, and that was 10, 15, 20 years ago by now, he was saying that when they go to spring training, They don't have the sliding drills. They don't have the bunting drills. And in the old days, they used to make everybody on the team learn to bunt, and pitchers included. Everybody on the team learned to slide, and they don't do that anymore.
No, it's weird that you can be paid so much and be in the majors and you can't lay down a simple bunt. Like something seems wrong with that.
Let me ask a question about if I'm a pitcher, if I know how to lay down a bunt, if I can help my cause by moving a runner over or even laying down a punt for a nice squeeze play, get an RBI, wouldn't that help me at the arbitration table the next year? If I'm a pitcher,
no,
it wouldn't.
Tyler, what do you think?
I mean, it would. No, it wouldn't hurt, right?
Well, but that helps you get a win. That helps your win.
Don't they care about home runs? That's it.
It seems like there's a lot more home run hitters nowadays, and
because the ball's juiced.
Some players
are the players still? You think the players are still juiced?
I think so.
I think so too.
I think so. Yeah, for sure.
See, you know this. You look at all this stuff and you figure this stuff out. It's like that's the problem here with baseball nowadays. It just needs to go back. If they want to shoot up on whatever, just they know what they're doing, right?
I mean, I'm not gonna no comment on that. That's for sure.
I don't want to have drug-free America people come running down here. How are you going to police it unless you give them a urine test every time they go to bat?
Yeah, just have a separate league for steroid users.
That's a good idea, Tyler.
Non-sports watchers, they would love that. I guarantee it would be way more interesting.
Now batting for the Los Angeles He-Men, Eaglet Fullwood Four Eyes.
I'm gonna hit the ball now.
Everybody's batting 200 with 40 home runs.
I mean, it's like there's just so many things going on with the game nowadays that it gets kind of messed up over there.
That clock, that in between innings clock, that 24 seconds.
No, it doesn't do anything.
That's 2 minutes and 25 seconds.
That's another new rule, right?
But no one ever. We went to spring training the first year that they tried to implement that.
I was going to ask you about that.
And we never noticed the difference, did we?
No, it doesn't do anything.
The clock would run out, and they're still doing the same thing.
You've gone to spring training a few years. So what do you think about spring training now when you go there? What do you see?
Well, the players usually stay in for 4 innings, and then the 80s and 90s numbers come out, and then you don't know who anybody is. But it seems like, I mean, I don't know the pregame drills and stuff. So maybe they.
Do you ever see any pregame drills, Tyler Roop? Do you?
They throw the ball to each other
like they do in a regular game.
Yeah.
They're not prepared to play baseball when the season starts, and that's why they pull their hamstrings, and that's why there's so many injuries because they're not ready.
Yeah. Plus the most players, like, spring training is pretty useless for them if you think about it, because the Joey Vottos and Adrian Gonzalez, they know they're playing. So in spring training, they're just gonna probably not try at all,
But back in the old days, you got yourself, it was a matter of pride to be ready to play baseball and to get yourself in shape.
Yeah.
I mean, in Vero Beach, Florida, used to have the Dodger Town where they'd go there and you'd live in the dorms. I always wanted to go there for spring training, always. And finally, the Dodgers moved west and they're in Arizona. I thought, I'm going to spring training. In fact, I went prior to that to see the Angels. And I go out there and they're not doing bunting. They're not doing sliding. I see Troy Percival out there and he's got some kind of a remote control car driving in the outfield. That's what they do.
Yeah. No, it's like the effort, like we touched on before, the effort seems non-existent. It seems like you gotta watch a Little League game just to see effort. People say like the Little League players should watch the MLB. Some of the MLB players should watch the Little League games in Williamsport, Pennsylvania.
Tyler Root, but we're sending this tape to the. I think we should send this to the commissioner of baseball.
I firmly believe that.
I do too. Who's the commissioner of baseball that we can send this to?
Rob Manfred.
Oh, yeah, Rob Manfred Mann and his band of Vernan. And used to be Judge Landis when I was a kid. I got the baseball.
Get us all Mountain Landis.
Always the commissioner always was smoking a cigar. We're going to go ahead and fine you, boy, unless you learn how to go ahead and bunt.
There's no gambling in baseball.
It's The Lounge. We'll be back. Come to Angelo's and Vinci's to see the memorabilia of movie stars and theatrical magic right in downtown Fullerton, California. See the art of the masters, an Italian town square complete with storefronts of old Italian butchers and cheesemongers, fruit and wine vendors, seamstresses showing their wares, fairy lights from cathedral ceilings, and our ancestors smiling down at you from the family love altar. The romance of Romeo and Juliet, and find the mystical Room of the Moon. And don't forget King Kong, Dracula, Frankenstein, and who knows what awaits you in the wine cellar. Enjoy the great food. We hand stuff our pastas, roll each and every tortellini, bake our own bread, make our own sauces fresh from our private stock of Sicilian family recipes. From pasta to seafood, chicken to award-winning pizzas, tiramisu flown in from Rome. If you can't find something on our menu to tempt you, you don't like Italian food. Try our Sunday brunch, just $18.95, and Angelo's and Vinci's has been named 2 years in a row Best Italian Restaurant in Orange County. Angelo's and Vinci's Restaurant, 550 North Harbor Boulevard in Fullerton, California. Call 714-879-4022.
Credit cards are sure fun to use, perhaps a little addicting, and they kind of make you feel rich. Well, if you're like most Americans, you've got over 5 maxed out credit cards in your pocket right now, and you can barely make the minimum payments, right? I'd like to personally recommend a company called DebtHelper.com. DebtHelper.com is a licensed and insured nonprofit debt management agency. They can help cut your interest rates by as much as 50% and lower your monthly payments, saving you thousands of dollars in finance charges on your credit card bills. DebtHelper.com does not lend money. Debt Helper's program could have you paying off your credit card debt in full in a 3 to 5 year period. Call DebtHelper.com right now for your free confidential consultation today. 866-706-3328. 866-706-3328. 866-706-3328. Credit card management services Inc. DBA DebtHelper.com. 1325 North Farmers Avenue, number 201, West Palm Beach, Florida, 33401. Down payment of debt may be creditors to increase finance and other charges or undertake collection activity, including litigation.
Hey guys, Ryan the Rhino DeSico here for my friends at Liberty HealthShare. If your healthcare has become a burden and you're worried about being stuck for another year, listen up because you do have options. Liberty HealthShare could be the solution to your problem. Open enrollment is here, and this could be your chance to free yourself from insurance. Take this opportunity and join Liberty HealthShare. You can finally be in control and have freedom when it comes to your healthcare. Liberty HealthShare offers an entirely open network, which means you choose your own doctors and you choose your own hospitals. Liberty HealthShare offers freedom from insurance, meaning there are no related tax penalties. To find out how you can easily make the change, call Liberty HealthShare today at 855-585-4237 or visit their website at libertyhealthshare.org. That's libertyhealthshare.org. Do it today.
The show has whizzed by today. It is The Lounge. I'm Michael Horn. Jim Roop from Westwood One Radio News is here. Tyler Roop from UCLA Sports Expert is here. So let's have fun in this last segment. Get Tyler's opinions on a couple of things. First off, Jay Cutler, who it was always going to be Jay Cutler's year with the bid. This is Jay Cutler's year. He's going to join Fox Sports as a broadcaster. Is this going to be his year?
It's Chicago's year because he doesn't have to play anymore, but I think that I wouldn't choose him to commentate a game.
Yeah.
But I don't choose much, so.
What about Tony Romo? His Cowboys career is over. He's going to be a sports commentator, color commentator. What do you think?
I think he has more charisma than. Well, I think
Jay Cutler.
Most people have.
Cutler.
Most people have more charisma than Jay Cutler. I feel like.
What would you have Cutler do right now? Sell peanuts at the stadium?
I mean, yeah.
You got to have a personality for that too.
He could throw them right. Good at that.
We didn't get through baseball, so who do you like in the National League West?
I mean, right now, I think the Dodgers, they always pull through. So the Rockies are doing well right now. They're not going to hold up. I think the Dodgers are definitely going to pull through.
All right, what about the National League Central?
Well, the Cubs. I'm going to go with the Cubs.
National League East.
Well, I think Bryce Harper's going to be the MVP this year, so I think the Nationals.
Nationals?
Yeah.
Okay, American League East.
The Yankees.
American League Central.
That's a tough one. That's
Chicago, Cleveland,
I think
Detroit.
Cleveland.
Cleveland,
It's going to have to be Cleveland.
Yeah. American League West.
Houston.
Yeah, they're looking pretty good. We asked about the Diamondbacks. What do you think about this? The former GM of the Diamondbacks, Dave Stewart, is trying to buy the Miami Marlins. Maybe that's why they're doing so well for Arizona. They got rid of Dave Stewart.
Dave Stewart.
I like Dave Stewart, but he didn't do too well. Brought in, some high-priced players and stuff, and they just sort of hung out to dry. All right, let's go and talk about some other topics. American Idol may return to ABC.
I don't care.
What do you think about Ryan Seacrest with Kelly Ripa hosting the mornings?
Have you seen any of that?
I have no opinions on any of that.
But he's at ABC, so now he could do this job, and he's going to do his radio show.
Oh, yeah.
Going to get through with his show, which is 9 o'clock. It starts 6 o'clock West Coast. So that means when he gets through, he'll be able to have an iHeart studio built for him at ABC in New York, and he goes right there. So he's on the air live at 7 o'clock in the morning. Radio's getting a short deal on this.
Wow. I was never a fan of Ryan Seacrest, so hopefully.
He can't lay down a bun either.
Yeah, he can't lay down a bun.
Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell receiving stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Did you cover that?
That was really nice. And there was a nice little catch in Kurt Russell's voice when he was talking about Goldie Hawn and saying that, she doesn't, all the stars on the boulevard don't compare to her in his life. And it was just it's a nice little moment there. Side-by-side stars, very, very nice.
Brad Pitt and Angie. Brad speaking out on The Split. What do you think?
I think he needs some rehab.
News. Fox News has lost Roger Ailes, and now Bill Shine is out. So what's going to happen there? You're a news guy. What do you think about that?
They're flagellant flagellant, whatever the word is. They're dying on the vine. They need. They
had such high ratings. What are they doing?
They were.
Well, they shouldn't have gotten rid of Bill O'Reilly and all that. They should have kept Greta. She always was good to Donald Trump going Greta.
Yeah, I don't know about the Bill O'Reilly.
They still got the number one ratings, don't they?
I think he was unfairly fired, actually. Bill O'Reilly.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. That'll be for our next show. Tyler Roop, thanks for being with us.
Yeah, thank you. It was fun.
Who's going to win the World Series?
Oh, God.
National League team.
Honestly,
I want an honest answer.
No, lie to us. Tell us it's the Reds.
I know it's not going to be the Reds, that's for sure. I don't want them to, but I think the Yankees have a really good shot this year.
There you have it. Jim Roop, who's going to win the World Series?
The Reds.
He's lying.
Jim Roop, Tyler Roop, thanks for being with us. That's our show. You missed anything, check the website out, crntalk.com. Download our cell phone app free for your smartphone. Dial pound 250. It's a phone call. Hit send. When the call is answered, say CRN Talk. You get our app free.
CRN Digital Talk Radio prides itself on being the station of every situation. And you can listen to us on nearly any platform and device. Download to your iPhone, Android, and BlackBerry episodes of What's Cookin'. And take Master Sommelier Michael Jordan with